Well, hello there. It's been a while, I know. I do hope my voice is coming through a lot better. Yes, before I was finding that it was not coming through too well, so it was a lot more tinnier and a lot more weirder. So I have attempted to, in my time away, fix a few things. As you can see, I am currently in Starfield. I bought it before launch. I pre-ordered it. Some people say that's a bad thing to do. That's my choice. I wanted to do it. But I had a blast playing through it all the way through to from the beginning to New Game Plus. The save I'm on right now is just before New Game Plus. Now I'm here for a reason. Basically to show you what I've been doing in Starfield, seeing as I've played through to midpoint in New Game Plus, where I am now. I need to move on from there. I've done, in the first playthrough, I did the majority. I did the UC Vanguard, 3-star, all the major quest lines that was needed to be done. But I did about halfway through Ryujin, and I found myself basically at a point. The point was that stealth wasn't working for me, and I didn't understand why. I now understand why it works now. Because I screwed something up, and as you can see, I have the good mage with me on my ship. Now this is a ship of my own design. I wanted to show you. This is now running mods, but I've kept away from the experimental mods, basically, so that it's all different, slightly different, but slightly the same. I tried to keep everything as vanilla as possible, just changing a few textures here and there, changing a few optics here or there.
Need a hand with something?
No, I don't. I wish she'd shut up. This is the only one problem. I can't tell them to shut up all the time. Right. One of the changes I did, as you can see, I'm using StarUI. Because one thing that have really bugged me about the other one, I'd be looking for a new weapon, or wanting to see the stats of any different weapon compared to what I wanted. Like if I click on DPS there, it just goes straight onto the Disbond Assassin. This was a really nice rifle. I loved it. I think I was playing on normal, or was it? Yeah, I think I was playing on normal mode because I wanted to play through the story and not be inundated by the amount of people, the amount of enemies. I wanted to see how good this game could be. This was one thing I did actually note down that was really annoying, was the UIs and building starship, building, all the UIs basically were annoying the snot out of me. Every time I wanted to find something, I just couldn't find it, and this happened to be a really good one. So I stuck with this. Everything up until this point, and when I go into New Game Plus, for the... Oh, this is Captain Tracy, by the way. Who... Let me just bring up her perks. Status effects. She is an empath and a medic. And that is basically the way I've run the whole game through. Being an empath was one of the best things I ever did. I've never chosen a thing like this, and I thought empath was really good. There's a plus side and a downside to it. The plus side is if you get it right, you get self-esteem for a couple of hours. If you don't get it right, you get a low self-esteem, which affects everything else. So I went in as a space scoundrel because I favoured myself as a little bit of a person who might have a go at something every now and again. So this is the way I went. As you can see there, I'm using special armour. So, empath, you are deeply connected to the feelings of others. Performing actions your companion likes will result in a temporary increase in combat effectiveness, but performing actions they don't like will have the precise opposite effect. So you have a good, but if you get it wrong or bad, it becomes a bad thing for you. So, lots of fun with that. So this is my general up to this point. But I have actually the pieces to go into the Armillary at this point, and I have gone into New Game Plus. So I'm about halfway through New Game Plus because I've done Ryujin and Crimson Fleet on that New Game Plus. That's the way I wanted to do it, and that's the way I found it the best way. So as you can see, I've seen all this. I've had 54 afflictions. Annoying. But this was the pre-food. You can run around and basically just eat food now. This was the latest update they put in there. And I collected 6 snow globes. I know there are more. I missed a few of them because I couldn't find them by the end of my game. By the end of my game, I was getting annoyed with so many different things, especially the Ryujin storyline. I said I got stuck there and I just basically went, right, that's it. Time to end it. Let's go to the New Game Plus. Exploration. I've only been to 46 star systems. And I've fully surveyed 25 planets. Now the surveying annoyed the snot out of me because I was having to run around trying to find different things and everything, but I did find 14 temples. The ship. I've done 262 grab jumps. Sorry if you are catching that banging noises. There is work being done outside the house, so yeah. I tried to drown out, right, minimize as much noise as I can because I'm back onto OBS Studio now from the AMD recording software because I think that might have been having a problem when playing Control, which I am going to be returning to. The largest ship owned, 4,307. Most expensive ship owned, 565,675. And I think that's the one that's incomplete. Really, I've only painted 4 ships. That's funny by this point. As you can see, at this point, I've done none of the Crimson Fleet. None of them. The 3-star, United Colonies, the side quest, main quest, activities are done except for Crimson Fleet because I felt that was good for the next one. The combat, favourite weapon was the Urban Eagle. I found an Urban Eagle early on and that stayed with me to the end. Not that Urban Eagle in particular, but that type of pistol, because I was a pistol running person and Personal Atmosphere was my best. Did end up having a 8 times caught with contraband, which kind of screwed me over a bit. But bounty, 8,100. That's the best one, really. I mean, but as you can see here, I've got nothing in ballistics, a tier 1 rank in lasers, nothing in shotgun, and I'm current rank 3 or 4 in pistol. I've been spending most of my time on weapon engineering. At this point, you'll see that the most recent updates once I get into my New Game Plus, because there's another ship I want to show you on that one. That one's a still designing process, but most of it's built. Starship Design. Starship Design was one I really want to get fully maxed out, so yeah. Shield systems, I got one in that. Security, because I wanted to hack master level locks and piloting. That one was a key one I found a long time later. Oh, I think I've got a few problems with my mouse right now, so I'm going to have to possibly get a new mouse. Weightlifting, wellness. See, I've only got the only thing I'm having with these skill points and traits is that it takes so long to level up. At this point, it took me until pretty much the end, right next to New Game Plus, to even get crew rank 1 of 4. To even actually have 4 crew members, because by the end of the game, I was still running 3 crew members the whole way through the game, which really didn't annoy me. These are the weapons I'm currently rocking. As you can see, this is an Urban Eagle, and I have no ammo for it because that became one of my end game weapons. Maelstrom. This Grendel, if this is the one Yep, that's the one I thought it was. This Grendel has been with me since the early days of the game. Because it had the Exterminator, 30% damage against aliens, radioactive, randomly deals radio damage and demoralizes the target, and frenzy. In the early days, it was good. By the later days, it kind of wasn't as great. This thing's been with me. This is the Staggering Overcharged Equinox. It's been with me for quite a while now. This Razorback has been with me as well. This thing really got me through the end game. And then the Lawgiver. I was so happy to get this from the radio. I did get this one and modified it slightly. As you can see, I've only got 3 rounds left in it, not much. And I remember... yeah, that's pretty much it. I can never get these 2 slots to work for some reason. I do not know why. Which really annoyed me. But while we are here, I've really dribbled on for 12 minutes already, and I won't bring you up to date with the ships. But if you hadn't noticed, we are in a custom ship. This is one of my favourite builds I've ever had in Starfield. This will be my favourite ship, even though the display to the right here does not show really what the ship even looks like. I hate that. I've got to remember... Scan. Well, this brings up the ship in question. This I called the cargoing. If you've ever watched Space 1999, I tried to build myself a ship similar to it. It didn't exactly come out the best, or near to where I wanted to get it to. So this is what I wanted. This is how the ship ended up in the end. So this is more of a ship build-up. This is the ship we're currently in right now. So we're going to go through all the ships I've got current at this point. This is the Frontier, the ship you get at the beginning of the game. I'm sure most people have this by now. She's an undercutter, but I wanted to keep her completely original. That was the plan. As soon as I got a hold of this game, I went, right, that ship will stay original. It will not be modified. It will not be changed. Because sometimes I just like to keep things as original. So, welcome to the Discovery. The ship I flew for 3/4 of the game. She's a Class B. And it was kind of like seeing how far I could go. Now, don't forget, at this point, I have no mods to help with the landing gear situation. I took that mod off, which actually helped me have only 2 landing gears. There was a ship I built on my New Game Plus, which only had 2 landing gears. Looked awesome. This is the discovery. She's a Class B, have 7 crew, cargo capacity of 4,000. Now that could be elevated due to a few things from the crew and my own stats at this point. So 4,250 it's not bad for a cargo capacity. And I mean, she handled really, really well. She had particle weapons, ballistics, and missiles. And her mass was only 1,462. Now this ship I built up time and time and time again, all the way up to a certain point, and then I just found out that it's just... I took a Frontier basically and rebuilt it from the ground up. As you can see, she's still got the original engines there, but modified up to the highest spec they can go. Jump range is 24 light years. This one, the Crichton I call it, because it's an odd one. I just made a go. I found this. I was trying to help out a spacer, a colonist or something. They needed ship parts. I found a ship just sat on the surface. Went over, took control of it, found some ship parts inside of it, took it back to the colonists on the planet. They repaired their ship and then they buggered off, and I just kept this one. As is, this is just how the ship comes in game. Then we have the Proteus. My first attempt to make a custom ship. Then found out that there are limits to the original game. Limits are aft, fore, starboard, and port. I didn't realise there was a limit when I was building this thing. If you've ever seen a film called Battle Beyond the Stars, it's an old 70s film. So corny, it's so good at the same time. I was trying to recreate the Nelly, a starship with its own female voice computer system. And it was designed, shaped in such a way that it just looked really, really good. I was trying to recreate it and stuff. As you can see, when I ran out of room, both front and rear, that was the bits that stopped me every time. Front and rear, fore and aft. As you can see, starboard and port, got plenty of room to play with. But when I started running out of room, fore and aft, it just kind of became a no-brainer and just stopped there. This cost a hell of a lot of money to build. And I took one of the Eclipse ships to build this one. No, I didn't use the Eclipse ship. I think, yeah, I did. I had 2 Eclipse ships I nicked earlier on, and this became the first one that I rebuilt into this monstrosity. It's in the middle of the build. If I ever get a mod in there that enhances or builds it out, as you can see, it's a Class C reactor, so it can jump really far, but the jump engines are not as advanced as they should be. So I've got to change that, unfortunately, which is a very big leg ache. As most people will recognise, this is the Razor Leaf. I've never flown it, but I did fly it. I flew it away from where I found it in the special mission, so I did that. But it's still the way I got it. And then we've got the Kepler R. But this is not the Kepler R you remember. The Kepler R was that big monstrosity you get from doing Walter's quest. One of the ways, if you've got in well, I'm sure most people have done this by now, there is a specific way to get a specific ship with all these parts attached. What I did in the end was I was getting so sick and tired of looking at a monstrosity, I rebuilt it. I don't know what you think, but it looks a heck of a lot better, and she's got 10,000 cargo capacity. I just basically went to town, just rebuilt it one time, and just I just said to myself, looks a hell of a lot better that way. It's just as good, but it's more streamlined. And it all fit, and this was all done in Vanilla Starfield. No mods to help me along at the time. And then you had the Star Eagle from the 3-star collector. Not changed, not modified, nothing. This is how I got it. Never flown it. So, yeah. As you can see, it's not a bad ship, actually. I did like it. This is the ship in particular. Now, I could modify this a little bit more. I could replace it with a Class C reactor, but one thing I found out is the Class C reactors are huge. So I had to try and build it in the restraints of what I got. As you can see, it cost 334,000, and it's got a cargo capacity of 19,000. This is my cargo Eagle. And I love this ship to bits. So what we're going to do now is we are currently at Earth. I have been to some of them. As you can see, I haven't been to many of them. Where was my... Just going to have a quick wander down to Earth Landing Pad 1, this is where I built this ship, by the way. I didn't realise that most of the other traders who did all the ship parts actually had their own types of ship parts. I do love that. But as you can see, it's night time. Right. Let's go on board the ship and let's get a nice sleep. And to be honest, I played the game mostly from third person. I'm underneath the station there. That's where I actually had the Armillary for so long. They said I could build it at a base, so I did. Over there you can see is the shard. A little bit bright. I am using reshade now, and I'm using photorealistic reshade 1.3, and I think it looks nice. It just had to be night time, although the lights glaring upwards are a little bit overbearing. So just so you know, Captain Tracy is the humble wife of Sam Coe. I had the idea from the beginning. See what I mean? He's always around. This is my captain's quarters. She's 3 decks high by 3 modules wide. We'll go to bed in a minute. I just want to show you the inside of the ship. This is more my workbench bay. The research bay. Trying not to get myself lost. I tried to make it so that you can walk through every single area as best you can. Crew quarters, like a storage bay. That's not the upper hatch. Yeah, that's another thing. Exterior hatches to when you go to dock really do annoy me. I want to make an exterior hatch that actually I can use. on the front of the ship, or the side of the ship. Yeah, that's another nuisance I have to put up with all the time. And we have another research where Barrett is. Yes, Barrett survived. Unfortunately, Sarah did not. She died in the events leading up to this.
Do you need me somewhere?
No, I need to get up to the bridge and I don't remember the route through. I haven't played Starfield for a couple of months now. I've kind of been playing Baldur's Gate. I'm on to my second character. My first one's Fina, a ranger from half-elf noble, ranger archer, and that, as they say, is the tour of the ship. Pretty simple. So we're gonna exit the ship. It's the quickest way to get back to my bed. So let's go get a nice sleep, which is something I really didn't do.
Wonder of nature, love.
I'll get out of it. I forgot how annoying he could be.
Unexpected.
Yes, Vasco, unexpected. Alright, let's just
Alert.
Yes, whatever. Yes, I'm pretty good at jumping now. Although this is the bit I don't like about the airlock cycling, actually. It kind of... Yeah, it kind of takes the hat off very, very early. So on the simplistic base, we've got Lynn and Hella here. And that's all we've got, actually. Not really many people here. Simplistic base. I never really got much into the base building because I didn't really understand it that much.
Hazard alert.
Yep. I never really understood the base building at this point, so it was just basic. Into the point where I need to go to, and the sun is just rising. And there's the shard. And there's a Starborn ship. Which is not mine, by the way. Oh, let's get back on board. Actually, I don't really need to go to Jemison, do I? New Atlantis, New Jemison, moron. Tell I haven't played this for a while, can't I? Right. View and modify ships. Right. I'm going to try and pull it apart if I can. Remember. So if I do... So that's the top section basically. Made up of cargo holds, 6 cargo holds, a companionway top, and the docker. You got that strut right at the back. It's quite a simple build really, I mean, then you got all those. Sometimes a little bit finicky, trying to get it right. You got the Tayo living quarters, control station, infirmary, all-in-one berth mid, engineering bay, and science lab. And if you're hearing that, that is basically them working out on the road, so apologies there. Two cargo holds just there. These are decorative on the front, and we've got the Stroud-Ecklund Viking C-20 cockpit as a command center. C-29 missile launchers on both sides. Where did I put my main weapons? There you are. The KE-42 cannon that side. Two KE-42 cannons, yeah. What are my laser weapons? Laser. I had lasers on this. The only problem I had whilst building this, I had to use the landing gears in between the S202. As you can see, the main aesthetic was used with the S202 cargo holds, but with the AccuLander 11 landing, which kind of made it a little bit off. Back here we got the Gamma 1010 shielded cargo. That's the shipbed 200 landing bay. I did have a slightly different landing bay, but I thought, you know, I'll just go with that. So then it kind of equates it either side. The Dun 31 engine sets. They were the main engine style design choice for this. There's a 500T HE3 tank, 103DS Mag inertial reactor, which is a Class B. I will show you why once all these are all sorted. See, this is a lot better. If I go down to the Class C, this is another thing I actually have a problem with. So the problem here I have is the Theta Pinch 9 is too big. If I go there and put them side by side, it's double the size of that. And the SF10 is double the size of it. So I didn't see the point of keeping it so that it kind of... I mean, I could have, suppose, gone for that, but... I mean, would that have been better? I don't know. I need to do a little bit more checking up and making sure that all this is working fine. But that's partially why we're here. You're going, where's your jumping? There's my grav drive, the RD3000 bedded grav drive. I wanted it on the opposite side of that cargo hold. So as you can see, we've got storeroom, companionway, control station, science lab, workshop, all in one berth and not in one berth on both sides. Now, these outer ones are landing gears from the 220C landing gears from Dymos. I found these look quite nice. I wanted to use a different version, but it wouldn't fit properly. There is a mod out there that says you can actually change that, but I found it also, if I wanted to play in vanilla again with any new updates or anything like that, I wanted to use the other ship, which will show you that's in my New Game Plus. If I wanted to use that ship again the way I had built it, it wouldn't have fitted right. and the one I wanted had actually exhaust ports like this on the front for braking, and looked pretty cool. And that's the style I was going for on the Cargo Eagle. All in all, this was one of my favourite builds. I sat there after work some nights and I just sat there and I just did this, just built it. I would lose hours quite literally building ships. I was quite happy with the way they came together. I mean, Discovery, this thing's just a mishmash. I mean, this one just... Okay, like... See, I went for a central line. That's got basically all my weapon systems. These are the Vanguard Tempest C-13 missile launchers with the Mauler 104L cannon. So I was quite happy with this thing. With the Magellan C1X cockpit as the cockpit section. I was trying to get my head around how to build up the ship to make it look a little bit better. This was basically a Frontier rebuild. Storeroom, Nova Galactic all-in-one berth, the docker, Stroud mid-bracer at the back. That was covering up the engine. That was the reactor, sorry, which is a 102 DS mag inertial reactor, Class B. If you look underneath, it was kind of like, it kind of looks like, I suppose, a turtle or a tortoise. These are the hollow cargo holes that kind of hang off that. The thing was, this thing always told me when I went into shipbuilding, and this is my only problem with this: reduce mass or add engines to improve mobility. Now, every time I added engines in, it said it overrode the reactor. That was my only problem, and it done my head in. The other one actually does that as well. The Cargo Eagle. If I go into Builder, one warning, reduce mass or add engines. Every time I add engines, said I need to upgrade my reactor. I could never upgrade my reactor because then it would overfill inside of the ship and it wouldn't look right. Whether there was a reactor from one of the companies, I don't know. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I have no idea. But this is before New Game Plus and before I knew what I was doing with building ships. So, as you can see, this is Earth Base 1, which I enjoyed. Enjoyed this very, very much. I mean, she's a big ship. So I'm going to photo mode. If I can get just far enough out. I mean, you don't really get a scale of the ship whilst you're inside of it or looking at the. Need to put the menu. There it is. So you can just tell I haven't played this game for a little while. So. The ship is basically that big. She's huge. And you got a sense of scale from running underneath, just underneath the exterior landing engines. She is big. She is a beast. And basically at, was it 19,000 cargo? Yeah, 19,000 cargo. More than enough space. I could play the game and go through every single star system and maybe not even fill up this entire cargo hold. So yeah, there's a lot here that I've learned over time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump forward to my New Game Plus character, Tracy again, and we'll basically show you what it looks like in the next section. Well, with the next ship I want to showcase. I'll be back